the suppression of the use of marijuana and of the forces lurking behind it are the most important jobs this department is now engaged in. In 1930, the records on marijuana in the Washington office of the Narcotics Division scarcely filled a small folder like this. Today, they fill cabinets.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Coloradians and everyone that's smart enough to listen from the outside.
It's one of the most amazing plants we've ever discovered.
The pot party, the trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
I got weed pots.
Let's get this party started, guys.
Let's do it.
All right, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another week of Storm Appetit with your hosts, as always. It's me, Kip, and to my right, I got CB. How are you today, CB?
Dude, doing great. Starting off the week with an episode, and we got a great guest today. So, yeah, let's do it.
Yes, sir. So today we're sitting down with, this is actually a pretty familiar site. We're coming to you from the Bruto. We'll now call it like a test kitchen, and we're sitting down with the man that's behind the whole concept, and that's Tajahi Cooke, who is kind of, I guess, we'll say you're a chef, but also you're running the points around here as well.
Trying to. Kelly crazily entrusted me with this beautiful kitchen. And real fast correction is Tajahi Cooke.
Tajahi Cooke.
Yes.
Sorry.
He
called you Taj, and it made I butcher every name.
Oh,
so.
it's Bama. Bama has a special pass.
Let's just call him Taj.
Yeah, I think that's great.
And the fact that y'all know each other, so if y'all refer to him, for those listening at home, CB goes by Bama in the kitchen. So season 1, everyone called him Bama, like all of our guests. So that's kind of a throwback. We haven't had that in a while.
Yeah, it's old school. Kitchen next door days, man. This guy, we used to, honestly, he's probably one of the best front of house bartenders, culinary gods, managers that you've come across. Not just because he's here.
Yeah. I didn't pay Taj.
No, he organized front of house well, man. It was great. When you remember working with someone positive, that means it stood out. So that's a good thing. Yeah, all day.
God, that's
solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
So we're going to have a great episode today because there's a lot going down at the free market. Yeah. So like you mentioned, Kelly kind of gave you the keys to the car, and we want to dive deep into what you have planned going forward here from the Bruto test, or the Bruto. I guess it's a kitchen if it's a big ass oven.
Well, what we're doing is Kelly titled it the Advocacy Kitchen.
Advocacy Kitchen.
And with that, basically, him and I started this idea over literally just breaking bread up at Dry Storage. It was a conversation that just started over Taj, what are you doing next, and what should I do with Bruto? You know what I mean? And we have a kitchen that we can do something with, and I would love for you to step in. So with that being said, I came up with the Ital dinner series. Ital, the basis of all Rastafarian cuisine. Long story short, Ital comes from the word vital. Vital derives from the word livity. Livity comes from positivity, if you understand the connection there. And livity basically means everything positive that is within you, within us, that is within the palm trees, the coconut trees outside. You know what I mean? Every bit of life that runs through them that kind of boosts their energy. And that's what Ital food is. Ital basically means everything that you put into your body should give you positive vibes, So Kelly started it with a quote basically saying that positivity is the ultimate form of protest. And that's the way that we're going to go about this kitchen. That's what I'm building this kitchen off of, is that we're going to build it with positivity. And if you fight it, then obviously you must have a whole other opinion of what positivity is. You know what I mean?
You have a lot going wrong if that's...
Basically.
I mean, holy crap.
Long story short.
Yeah.
So every chef that comes in, that's the vibe. We don't care about your resume. We care about what you put on the plate and the message behind the food. With me, I've been doing this for a long time, like Bama. You know what I mean? That's how I know this man as. And I worked with him when Kyle was still around at the kitchen, when Sal Salazar was still around at the kitchen, when Dane Frost was still cooking. You know what I mean? Things like that, man. And it really means a lot, to come into this business and honestly try to help change it. Things have been the same for too long in the culinary world, whether it's back of house being, paid more than front of house, or just this whole situation that's going down in the restaurants not being supported. I think that we need to come in and shake shit up a little bit. You know what I mean? Get people uncomfortable, and that's what this whole advocacy kitchen is about. Ital food, you're not going to feel comfortable eating it. My first dish was a raw turnip with mustard seeds, and it was fucking beautiful. It was gorgeous, and it was delicious. And it was raw and roasted, and it had roasted tomatoes and slithers of Milano red onions, and it came together. And if you understood the dish and gave it your time and open up to it, you'll see how delicious it is. You know what I mean? And it was nothing but smiles on the faces that was after. So that's the way we're going about it. You're not going to have what you normally had. Everything is going to be different. Even Michael DeLeon, coming from Mexico City, October 13th and October 30th. That man is amazing. He's coming from Chef Pujol's restaurant down in Mexico City. And if you know Chef Pujol, then you need to go find out who Chef Pujol is.
Are you talking about Enrique, like the restaurant? Okay, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've been there. It's mind-changing.
It's amazing. Yeah, so that's where he used to be one of the chef at. And,
that's awesome.
He just moved to Denver, Colorado with his daughter and his wife. He started a brand called Pinche Umami, and I met him. And with one conversation, that shows you how people can connect. And now he's going to be here on 2 days. And hopefully here every Tuesday going forward. So that's going to be great.
So you mentioned that starts on like the 13th. And for those that are listening, this will probably drop... It'll drop Wednesday. I think we're going to drop it this week because y'all are doing the pop-up events. Like you hosted the ones that you mentioned a little bit of the menu on Thursdays in September, and we're still going to continue to have different chefs come in and do it. So we'll have the chef on Tuesdays, and then we'll start next Thursday for those listening. You'll be back in the kitchen doing that same or different but similar styles. Yeah.
So basically, I have four. I'm doing 4 Ital dinner series. So. 4 Ital dinner series. 2 of them were in September, September 7th and September 15th. The first one was with Acres Farm, Joshua Olson, out at Warren Tech. If you don't know Joshua Olson, you need to go find out who Joshua Olson is.
You're giving homework to our listeners. As a stoner podcast, I don't know if you know this, but we do next to no research.
Well, I'm a Rastaman son, so I think you can walk and, and whistle at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with that being said...
He's giving me a lot of credit. I can.
No, Joshua Olson is amazing. We did... he's an educator of the community. He's done many dinners with numerous chefs across the area. And we also teamed up with Chris Starkis from Lost Creek. Chris Starkis was a former chef over at Urban Farmer. Chris Starkis and I connected when we were honestly one of the ambassadors of the Emily Griffith Quick Start Culinary Program. We went there, and you have to invest in the community, you know what I mean? And that's one of the ways. But each dinner is paired with a farm. And
nice.
This is to bring awareness to the community about how we can support each other. Right now you have farmers that are dumping potatoes, tomatoes, peaches, onions into the fields, and it's rotting. They don't have workers to come out and work. They don't have a way to transport it from city to city. It's just wrong. Yeah. And I feel that it's ridiculous in America when you have so much food and money just floating around the area and people are hungry. It doesn't make sense to me. So if we can support the farmers, we can make sure the community get fed. And that's one of the ways that I'm going about it, is to make sure that we bring awareness so we don't have farmers dumping potatoes in the field that are rotten. We can bring those potatoes and bring it to someone who can be used. I don't mean to become preachy, but that's what it is.
No, you're making valid points. I mean, like, first of all, like people are starting to realize the importance of restaurants in our daily lives. And, although like there's very little support, but it's starting to increase.
It is.
And then also people have to be aware that like this whole thing has messed up all the supply chain. So farmers are feeling that excess, and they aren't getting paid. They aren't having the money to deliver the produce. And, so I mean, this all makes sense. And like these dinners are really cool in the fact that y'all are teaming up with farmers and then just making people more cognizant of like where are they eating, what are they eating, and like kind of opening their minds to new food and shit.
Trying to from just comfort level and what people are used to. You know what I mean? The idea behind the carrot dish was to just give you carrots. You get what I mean? I wanted you to eat your veggies, and that's what I did. So we took orange carrots and baby purple dragons. We took the orange carrots and cooked it down with coconut milk and cardamom and cinnamon stick and allspice directly from my homeland, allspice. And honestly made an amazing puree. Really smooth, very silky, smooth like the Zohan.
That's the first Adam Sandler quote we got today. Yeah, I did not think it was going to be a Zohan quote.
Oh, dude,
And it's a
Zohan is
fucking Monday. Hell yeah.
But then we took some baby purple dragons and tossed it in some coconut oil and a brown sugar rub jerk spice base blend, and just roasted the hell out of it in the oven at like 1,000 degrees.
Quick question here, though, real quick, though. Okay, we did skip our normal introduction, which was asking you if you were a transplant or a native.
Oh.
So,
are you a native to Denver?
No.
All right, where are we coming from, Taj?
Kingston, Jamaica. Kingston, Jamaica, I came directly from Kingston to Denver, and I have not left since. Before then, I lived in California, New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Pops was a tour manager for musicians. The Marley family, Spearhead, Dave Matthews. He was one of the first cats to bring the Wu-Tang to Oakland, California when they went gold, not even platinum. And old dirty bastards tried to steal his mic, and they almost had to beat him. That's a long story for another time.
Wait, no, that's the story. We have all the time in the world.
But I grew up on a tour bus, man. When you have a father who's a tour manager, I used to just wake up and you'll see the Eiffel Tower sitting there. Or you fly over, the Empire State Building. I used to have my class sometimes in the back of a tour bus or on the back of American Airlines. You never know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so honestly, I would say I came from Jamaica, but I came out of a suitcase.
Okay.
What made you pick, from all of those locations, from Cali to New York, how did you choose Denver?
My stepbrother. So I was going to Cal a couple years ago, and I was playing rugby. And I was having just a rough time, man. Mentally, my family was in Jamaica. My father was always traveling. So I got up one day and I just sold everything and I moved to Jamaica. Didn't tell my dad. Dropped out of school. Moved to Jamaica, and it was amazing, bro. It was amazing. I started doing some cooking down there at Half Moon Bay Resort in Montego Bay. Traveled across the island, and then my dad ended up having me tour manage Morgan Heritage, which is a 2-time Grammy-winning band. So you had an 18-year-old kid traveling across the Caribbean, tour managing and road managing Grammy-nominated reggae bands.
So that sucked.
It was horrible.
Yeah,
so did that for a little bit, and then my father told me that I need to figure my life out. I can't do what he did because his thing is he's already 50 and he can do that for the rest of his life, and I'm 18 and I need to figure out what I want to do for the rest of my life. So my stepbrother, his name is Noah Coleman. He lives out here with him and his lady and his kids, and I ended up sleeping in his second room, his spare bedroom, with his St. Bernard on a pull-out couch. It was so comfortable.
I bet.
It's amazing.
Yeah, because you're a small guy.
Yeah, you're a petite guy.
Yeah, and you have 100+ pound St. Bernard just drooling on your chin. It was amazing. That gave me enough energy quick to move out. So I had my own place within like 4 months, probably less. And honestly, I haven't stopped since, man. I just started cooking and never stopped.
All right, and on this point, I was thinking though, where on earth in Denver can you find like jerk chicken, if it exists here?
It does. The Jamaican Grill. So the Jamaican Grill is located off of 8th and Galapagos.
I think I've driven by. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I would suggest stopping there.
Okay.
Really, really good place. It's a Rasta family, old Rastaman that owns the place. He's been cooking that same jerk recipe for over a decade, and now his kids are running the place, and they haven't changed the recipes, thank God. So the food is delicious.
Hell yeah.
What is like the most rudimentary? What is if someone says Jamaican style food? What do you think? Like what should I think? Because I don't know it. Besides the Jamaican jerk chicken,
what's like at the Sunday table?
Yeah, okay. That's because I don't know what's the average because you mentioned when we come here you'll eat something that we've never had before, and I saw that when you were doing it a couple weeks ago. I was like, what's going on? What is the normal snacks as well as what's the supper table look like?
So traditional Jamaican dinner, right? Let's say my mother was cooking Sunday dinner. You'll have coconut rice and peas. Instead of peas, remember in Jamaica, peas is a term for kidney beans.
Okay.
So we call anything that shapes like a bean or a peas peas.
Kind of like chips or fries in Britain and crisp.
Long story short. So Jamaican coconut rice and peas with brown stew chicken.